Hey y'all, my name's Priscilla and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book review. I made it a goal this year to do more book reviews, so here I am. The first book that I read this year I finished and I'm going to go ahead and review it because it's really popular and I know that a lot of people want to read it, so I'm going to share my thoughts. And that book is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. Everything that I've heard about this book has been very well thought and very positive in that this is usually a very well rated book, of 4 or 5-star books in many cases. So I was really looking forward to this. Unfortunately for you, if you're really looking forward to this may not be the best well-rated review. I did not like this as much as I anticipated that I would. I ended up giving it about 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put this book up so I don't have to hold it the whole time. Little Fires Everywhere is a contemporary novel that follows mostly 2 of our main characters. We have Mia Warren and Elena Richardson, and right from the beginning we start with a house burning down. And Elena Richardson is a mother of 4 children in a very affluent neighborhood outside of Cleveland, Ohio called Shaker Heights. And she is standing on the street pretty much watching her house burn down with her children nearby and a lot of them not really knowing what happened. And then the story begins really by going back in time and unraveling how these events and how the personal relationships between all the characters lead to the events of her house burning down. So Mia Warren is another main character, and she's a single mother that moves to Shaker Heights with her daughter Pearl, and they end up renting one of the houses that Elena Richardson actually owns. Pearl is enamored with the Richardsons, with Elena and her 4 children. We have Lexi, Trip, Moody, and Izzy. I was trying to say them in order of how old they are. And they are equally as enamored with Mia and Pearl because they live very different lifestyles. Elena and the Richardsons are a family of middle to upper class socioeconomic status. They have a big house, they have, 2 wealthy parents, they have a lot of things that Pearl and Mia don't really consider important or priority in their lives. Mia is an artist. She's very unconventional in many ways compared to the Richardsons because she really does things to fund her next project, and she moves around a lot and they can fit all their belongings in their little car. So in a way, Mia comes into this cookie cutter neighborhood and she kind of makes Elena face the fact that motherhood is not always the same. And this is something that makes Elena feel very uncomfortable. But anyway, so another major plot point in this story is an adoption that takes place. There's a Chinese American baby that is abandoned and that is placed in the care of one of the wealthy white families in Shaker Heights. The birth mother is a Chinese immigrant and a friend of Mia Warren, and takes interest in the case and wants to have custody of her daughter. So a custody battle kind of ensues and follows, and it really divides not only the community but also the Richardson family. So foremost, this story is about parenthood and specifically motherhood and what it means to be a mother. And it's very clear that what it means to be a mother for Elena and for Mia are very 2 different things. Elena is the prime example of what Shaker Heights is. She really believes that there's like a formula and that there's rules that you should follow, and if you follow these rules you'll get everything that you want, and that because she's sacrificed some of her passions, I shouldn't say because, although she has sacrificed some of her passions, she was a very passionate journalist by trait, but she doesn't practice it in the way that she wants or in the way that she would if she hadn't had children. But because she's made these sacrifices, she thinks that she's the best mother, and that she's really a character that believes there is definitely a right and a wrong. There's black and white. There's no in between. And Mia kind of challenges her in a way because Mia and Pearl don't subscribe to this kind of mother-daughter relationship. Although Elena sees life this way, it is clear in the novel that there isn't really a right and wrong way. There's just really a way. As Mia says, we do things and we have to carry them with us, and it's really up to us what we do about it. So related to this idea of there being a right and wrong and what it is to be a mother, there's a lot of other topics that Celeste discusses, such as miscarriages, surrogacy, transracial adoption, and other things that contribute to the idea of what a mother is. So most of these subplots don't really get going until like the second chunk of the book. So I really don't want to get into them too much because it's kind of spoilery. But it was fine, but I think I went in anticipating that the story was gonna really engross within all these topics and kind of flush out all these topics thoroughly, and I didn't really do that. And it's also as if Celeste is very clear on her stance on the matter, and she's kind of telling you, which I usually don't like when authors do, when they tell you what is happening and how you should feel. But because I agree with Celeste, I didn't really mind it. I just wish that she had been a little bit more thorough and weaved it in within the entire novel. Whereas I feel like she kind of just threw it all in one chapter. But in this chapter, we hear from the birth mother, and she is a Chinese immigrant that speaks very little English and that has trouble paying her bills, and when she had the baby, had trouble feeding her baby and buying her formula and things like that. So she felt that she was unfit to be a mother at the time. But then of course she comes back and realizes that she's ready to be a mother and she wants her daughter back. Whereas the birth mother is a very rich, very white, wealthy mother. She's a stay-at-home mom. So she has the time and the resources to really raise a child, and she really wants to have a child because she's had many miscarriages and many attempts of having children that have failed. So I think Celeste Ng takes great care in making you feel empathy for both of these characters, because really they're both mothers, they're both great people, they're not bad people, they have great intentions. But I mean, should a white family adopt a Chinese baby? Are they going to be able to instill and raise this child around the Chinese culture? This is kind of the questions that are being asked, and there's not really an answer. I think the Celestine kind of lets you know what she thinks is the right answer, but there isn't a real resolution of what is right or wrong. It kind of like it very much leaves it open for interpretation in a way. So overall, I didn't like this book as much as I really hoped I would. I really wish that the book would have taken more time in discussing some of these topical issues throughout, rather than just the second half or the last even third of the book. I think that this is where the magic and the promise of the story really is, and what people really talk about and what people really love and what I really love. While I was reading this, I kept thinking I would love to reread this if I ever choose to become a parent, if I have children. I don't have children now, so I really couldn't connect with some of the motherhood ideas, and I feel like as a mother I could really enjoy this a lot more. I love the empathy the author does show for all the characters though, even the people that don't deserve it, or if someone is being manipulative. No one in this novel is merely good or bad. This is a promising read from Celeste Ng. It's quiet. It's very slow. I will say it is slow, so you should go in knowing that. I struggled a lot with how I felt about this. For me, I don't think it was for me at this point in my life. I think that if you're interested, you probably have already read this or you're planning to read this, but I'm not sure how I feel about recommending it to people. So those are my thoughts about parenthood and Celeste Ng's Little Fires Everywhere. I hope that you really enjoyed this. I'm really kind of stepping out of my comfort zone in reviewing books, so please bear with me. I will get better. I would love to hear what you have to say or think about this if you've read this or if you plan on reading this. Please let me know what you thought. For now, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!